وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Furqan, some more happenings on the day of judgment. وَيَوْمَ تَشَقَّقُ السَّمَاءُ بِالْغَمَامِ وَنُزِّلَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ تَنزِيلًا. So this talks about the sky tearing apart and a cloud coming down. So that cloud will be basically not a real cloud of vapor or water, but it will be the وَجَاءَ رَبُّكَ وَالْمَلَكُ صَفًّا صَفًّا. Then Allah and His Malaika will come. The descent of Allah is not that Allah is descending Himself in person, but the special reflection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a special presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Malaika arranged in circles around it will form as if a cloud is coming down. That's what people will see, that the sky will tear open and Allah and His Malaika will come down. It will appear as if a big cloud is coming down. And that's not the tearing of the sky when the Surah will be blown into for the first time for destruction of everything, but this is after both the blows in the trumpet and when the actual reckoning, the day of Hisab, will start. Al-mulku yawma idhin al-haqqu lir-Rahman. The kingdom on that day will be for the Rahman. So in this world we see that people have certain control over something and people are able to help other people, but on that day nobody. So although kingdom belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed people to help others in this world, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has allowed and given people control over certain land, certain territory, certain people, certain things. But on that day even that will go away, and the complete total kingdom and control and the ability to help somebody or to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on behalf of somebody, to save somebody, to do good to someone or to do harm to someone, all of that will be totally under direct and only control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the meaning of al-mulku yawma idhin al-haqq lir-Rahman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is out of His mercy telling us that that day still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be merciful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is bringing forth His attribute of mercy. Allah would be Rahman. وَكَانَ يَوْمًا عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ عَسِيرًا. And it will be a difficult day for the kafirin, for the disbelievers. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying Rahman, and then right next in the same ayah, in the next sentence, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that don't nobody get confused or nobody mistake it that if Allah is Rahman, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to show mercy to the kuffar as well. No, that mercy will be restricted to the believers. For the kafirin, وَكَانَ يَوْمًا عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ عَسِيرًا. That day will be very difficult for the disbelievers. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. وَيَوْمَ يَعَضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ. And that day the zalim, the wrongdoer, the transgressor, the one who did not believe, يَعَضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ. He will be biting on his hands. He will bite his hands, they will bite their hands. يَقُولُ, saying, يَا لَيْتَنِي اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا. Ya laytani is an expression of longing, that I wish, alas, I had taken a path. اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا. I had joined the path of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us and connect us directly with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Put us on the path of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Connect us with the series and the chain of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, with the rightly guided people. Otherwise it will be a source of great regret on the day of judgment. Ya wailata, the person would say, Ya wailata, woe to me, laytani lam attakhidh fulanan khalila. Alas, would it that I had not taken such and such person as my friend. So a friend is that person who changes the direction of our life. The Quran talks about it in several places. The Prophet ﷺ has given a lot of importance to it. The Prophet ﷺ, there are several hadiths, some of those that come to mind. The Prophet ﷺ said that make sure that your friend is no one except a believer. So do not make friends with the kuffar, with the disbelievers. This is something that we, living in the society, we do good to everyone. We are nice to everyone. We do not do injustice to everyone. Even non-humans, we do justice to them. Whatever their right is, we fulfill that right. The right of the earth upon us, the right of the environment upon us, the right of the sky upon us, the right of the water upon us, all of those things, all of the creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be it human or non-human, they have a right upon us. We be nice to them, we be just to them. But friend should only be a believer. A person who has said La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, only they can be made friends. The Prophet ﷺ has said that make sure, paraphrasing the hadith, that make sure that you do not befriend anyone except a believer, and make sure that nobody eats from your food spread except a muttaqi person, a person who has the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So our gatherings, our parties, our food serving, all should be, our gatherings should be pious people, muttaqi people, because they are the ones who will take us further towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we befriend people who are lesser in deen than us, then we can imagine where they'll take us. They'll only take us in a downward direction. The Prophet ﷺ has also said, the hadith that we read in the khutbah as well, that everybody, a person is on the deen, on the way of their friend, their close friend. So therefore you all be very particular, be very careful who you befriend. Allah. So we should be very careful for ourselves and for our children as well. These days we have this way that we let our children befriend anybody that we don't even want to find out. We don't know half the friends of our children. We should be very careful who they are befriending, because that is going to shape their personality and their future life. لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ. This person would say that لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ جَاءَنِي. Indeed, my friend, the wrong friend that I took as friend, they led me astray, عن الذكر, from the remembrance of Allah, from the true guidance, بعد إذ جاءني, after it had come to me. وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا, and the shaitan is clearly man's betrayer. So these ayat, although the meaning is general, the ruling is general, there is a particular event in the background of these ayat which is mentioned, that there was this person called Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt, and his way was that whenever he would come back to town after from a journey or trip, he would invite all the respectable people of Makkah to his food spread, and he would also invite the Prophet ﷺ, although he was not a believer. And he considered the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ was generally considered respectable in the society, so he invited the Prophet ﷺ as well. One such time when he did it, the Prophet ﷺ said that I will not eat unless you say that I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Muhammad ﷺ, because last final prophet, essentially bring faith. So in that moment, that person did say that and did bring faith. And the Prophet ﷺ did eat from his food spread, and the Prophet ﷺ went away. Later on, one of the leaders of Kuffar, Umayyah ibn Khalf, if I remember the name correct, he went full of anger. He was one of the biggest enemies of the Prophet ﷺ. In fact, he was killed at the hands of the Prophet ﷺ later on. So he went to that person's house of Uqba and said that, why did you do this? How could you believe in Muhammad ﷺ? So he said that I did it because a respectable person was on my food spread, and he said that he would not eat, and I considered it dishonor, disgrace for myself that somebody would not eat from my food spread. So he said that if you are true in this, then I will not become friends with you again unless you go and na'uzu billah, hasha wa kallah, may Allah protect us, spit on the noble face of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he already, although now see what friends do to us. That this person went and did that, na'uzu billah, that heinous act, he actually did it. Although he had once said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu rasuluh. So therefore, what we need to understand, and later on both of them died in Badr. Umayyah ibn Khalf was killed at the hands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Uqba ibn Abi Mu'ayt was also killed in Badr, humiliated, and they will be in hellfire. So think about it, that a person brought faith, but because of friendship and maintaining the friendship and peer pressure, what did they end up doing? Na'udhu billah, one of the most heinous things that anybody could think of, na'udhu billah, and they became a kafir after having becoming Muslim. And this is what the ulama say, that this ayah particularly mentions that this person on the day of judgment will say that لَقَدْ أَضَلَّنِي عَنِ الذِّكْرِ بَعْدَ إِذْ جَاءَنِي. Guidance had come to me, I had accepted it, I had become a Muslim, and then this person, my friend, he led me astray. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. We need to be very careful about our company. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اجعلنا من أهل القرآن الذين هم أهلك وخاصتك. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.